Good evening, everyone. This is Don back again with another tutorial on the LED conversion for Banshee. This time we will be focusing on the waist unit. Now, I have already completed one side of this, and it was actually a lot easier than you would expect. I'm going to show you what I did, and then I will go through the steps. So as you can see under there, there is an LED hiding, and unlike the leg or arms, you only need one. Actually, the arm only needs one LED. I'll go over that one next. But you only need one LED for the entire waist unit because you only have two parts that you need to worry about lighting up. You've got this part of the skirt unit and this part here. The groin, I will show you how I did, but I did it, there's only one, so I did it on my own without really thinking about it and showing you guys. But it's a very simple design for this one. Go ahead and take your angled needle nose here, flip this piece up. Come on, up you go. Up you go. Is this in the way again? Oh, no, that piece is in the way. Got to take that piece off. So just flip this up, and in there, you can't really see it, but there is an LED tucked in right there. So what you have to do for this piece, you just slip your LED in, run your negative wire and positive wire out whichever side you want, whichever side you have your current setup going. This side is my main positive lead, i.e. right here, you can see. This side is my main negative lead, so I ran them on each opposite side, tucked it in. Now you can't really see it. I might move my wiring around back there when I get the chance to hide it a little bit more, but for right now, it's good enough. And this right here is the negative lead. As you can see, it comes out. I do recommend pre-shaving this. Oops, I'm way up. Sorry. I do recommend pre-shaving this when you get the chance with your file to get your wires down, because you will end up with a bit of an issue with the trying to file in such a tight space without your skirts or with your skirts on. I did it without my skirts because I discovered it this morning by recommendation of a friend of mine who did the Gundam base version, the original version of this. That's Bandai. One thing that's been asked frequently with this is, do you lose anything with doing this LED conversion? Yes, you lose the ability to transform out of destroy mode, or at least most of it. You won't be able to put your ankle units back down. You won't be able to push your knee units back in. And the arm units, you could push it back out of destroy mode. I've already done it today, but I would not recommend it because inside of the arm unit, it is very finicky. So let's go ahead and get into this. We won't worry about that quite yet. So you can see here, I have my positive and negative leads. Okay. Right here, I have my positive, so I didn't show you guys this. I have my positive lead marked with a silver paint. This is so I know that it is my negative. You don't want to be accidentally wiring your positive and negative together when you're not running a series. I'm running in all parallel. So what I'm going to end up doing, and you can see here my positive is not exactly where I want it to be, but since we are already here, we're just going to go ahead and tuck this down here like this and tuck this part down here like this. It isn't such a big issue, and the skirt unit's going to cover up this part of the back of the leg. As long as I'm not exposing it too much, I think we are in good tidings. Oh, hold on there. Don't want to do that. You can see here I've already shaved down part of the negative wire, and I do want it in the back, so I want to flip these two around actually. So this wants to be here, this wants to be here, and what I'll end up doing is just slipping it in like this, like it's supposed to, and then moving my positive wire completely out of the way, finding the conjoining point of my negative wire. So one thing about this when you're working with wires is they can be very annoying. I mean, really annoying. Yeah, that's fine. And all you got to do is just make sure that you have everything in the right place. There we go. Give that a quick little twist, and you could probably do better when you're twisting up your wires. This is just my method. My method is not the 100% method. There is no perfect method, or maybe there is. That's not me. I'm not an electrical engineer. I have no formal training in electronics. I have literally just done 3 kits and have been asked to do this video because I have friends who want to try it in the same background as I do. Now you can see here I have my solder. I have a new soldering iron. It is a much better one, as you guys can tell. This is $59. I do recommend going for a better soldering iron when you get the opportunity, because my last one, it died on me at the end of that last video, and it just did not work out well. I had a lot of wiring issues in the legs that I had to fix. The video is still good. It still has the instructions, but I had to go back in and fix out an LED because it just wasn't working 100%. In fact, it actually broke off in the ankle, which, trust me, is not a place you want something to break off. Okay. And I think we're good for right now. Might have to come back through and resolder. Soldering is not very entertaining, so I try not to do it often. Just a quick hint. When you do get a soldering iron, make sure you get something like this. This is a brass, I don't know, wool, you want to call it that. But it helps get the tin off of your tip. And all you got to do is just stick it in. You don't leave it there, but you stick it in and scrape it off. It's very easy to do. I had a lot of issues with tin sticking on my other one. So what we want to do is make sure we got our negative lead here. We'll just go ahead and pull this up. Where's my batteries? I decided to switch back to this method. It is not recommended. I still recommend you use just a plain battery, but I was having connection issues, so I needed to verify with something a bit stronger. So here we go. Okay, we got the legs lit up. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and grab this positive lead, which is the one for the waist unit. And we will give these a quick test. Oh, hold on, we got a movement out of place. There we go. And we got the waist unit lit. So if we take these two positive wires and put them together like so, hold on, come on. Put them together like so, we should get our waist unit lit up. Our entire unit lit up. Oh, oh, there we go. We have everything lit. Now all I got to do is get my positive wire and my negative wire connected, and I made a goof. I did not pre-file these, but that is okay. As I said, not the best outcome that you want, but it is easily done. So what I do is I take my finger like this and my file, and I just give this a light filing. It brings off the coating, brings you back down to the copper. You can't see it on video. Actually, you can. You can see that there is a slight shine to it now. It is not as dull. That makes it so the copper is now exposed and ready to be used for connecting the other wire. Now all you got to do here is file the exact opposite of where you were at. So I am right there. Just need to give it a very light tug. Don't want to do too much and ruin it. Come on. Boom. I think we're good there. And as you can see, my negative wire is not wanting to play nicely here. Oh, that's my positive. Here's my negative. I wonder if I've got enough room on that piece. No. I'm going to need to file it up a little bit. So you can always just play around. The one thing about LEDs is, as I said, I don't think there's a 100% correct method unless you're using the Bandai. Guy I was talking to today, he uses fairy lights. And he just needs to work on his wire management, but it looked fantastic. It was a great looking build. In fact, it's sort of inspired me to maybe try and paint this guy at a later date. The one thing that's great about the Unicorn series, Banshee, Phoenix, stuff like that, is that they aren't, the armor comes off super easy. I mean, we've all messed with these. I mean, if you've messed with a high grade, you've messed with the perfect grade, in a sense. The armor pieces can come off really easy without much of an issue. Now let's see if I got this lined up right. Hold on, gotta check my lighting. Oh, I didn't even properly shave that side down. That'd have been bad. And like I said, it's mostly just a trial and error effort on getting your filing correct and figuring out where you go. I guess if you were to pre-do this, it would be a lot easier, like I should have. But I was focused on the negative line, the negative line more than I was focusing on the positive line. And that's just my own failure on that. So, like I said, pre-file these. You're gonna want to. It's gonna make your life much, much easier. And let's see if that actually worked out. If it did, then we should light up this entire leg without having to play with multiple wires here. And I can start trimming wires away. Let us see how this works. Oh, no, did not connect it correctly. This is why you always want to double check before you solder. If you don't, you will have a bad time. Just imagine that skier guy from South Park. Okay, I'm gonna have a bad time. In this case, it is due to my twisting not being in the right place. Let us see if I can scoot that up a little bit more. No, I'm gonna need to unravel it. Okay. And if you guys want to check my Instagram, I did just post a video earlier today, not too long from the time that I actually recorded this, of my perfect grade Strike Freedom box opening. Lots of good stuff in there. I can't wait to start working on that. It's going to be a fun build. I think I'm going to go doing full custom on it. I like the idea of trying my hand at some new techniques on it. I know I'm going to be shining up that gold. I like my gold shiny when I use it. I'm not the biggest fan of gold. I've actually become a bigger fan of purple. I think purple is the more royal color, and my Dragon King reflects that in the work that I put on him. Let us see. Nope, still just the legs. Dang. So, and it's actually good that I messed this up, so that way y'all can see my process of how I go through this. It's, like I said, it's not hard. It mostly just comes down to trying to figure out the absolute best place to drop your wiring and how it will go for you. No, don't go anywhere, solder. We're going to need you in just a second. I do highly recommend that you do not do your skirts until after you've installed your LEDs. That way you can see exactly where you're working and how you're working with it. Because if you end up just not doing that, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have a bad time. I've got this one installed because I accidentally built it. Wasn't meant to be built yet, but I did. So it is what it is. And I am dealing with that. I didn't want to just throw it in the box, because every time I throw something in the box, even if it's large, I end up having to dig for hours trying to find it, because it got stuck in a runner, underneath a runner. And as any of my friends in CG or NGH can tell you, I have the absolute worst luck when it comes to parts coming up missing. Whether it's something that didn't come in a box, something that came in a box and disappeared into the void. It is what it is. And I do have a theory on that, by the way, the void. Every builder, every person who's ever built something, whether it be a mechanic and their 10 millimeters, a seamstress and her or his needles, they end up somewhere. They drop from sight, you hear the clatter, and then they're gone forever. And we never know why. Why is that? Well, I think, personally, that there is a void out there, somewhere in the ether, that holds everybody's left sock. Yes, you know that sock that goes missing? That's the left. Holds the left sock, and every small piece, nope, still don't have it, stolen or lost by a person working on a project. So if you're a mechanic and you've lost a 10 millimeter, blame the void. If you're a gun builder and you've lost the part and you don't know where it went and you had to wait 6 weeks or buy a whole new model, blame the void. It exists. It's where your socks are hiding, and one day we will find it, and we will get all of our parts back, and then realize that, man, maybe it wasn't worth it to find all this money. But, yeah, so, like I said, this part here, this is the part about LEDs that I dislike the most, when you don't know if you filed things correctly or placed them correctly. I think I got it. I have it. Now comes the part to make sure this never leaves its position again. That is where we take our solder and we do this. A little bit of smoke there. Good. Always got a little bit of, always good to inhale a little bit of solder smoke while you're working, I guess. Oh, I'm out of view. Sorry about that, guys. That happens frequently. I'm working on my phone from an aerial view, so you guys get the best possible view, and I can still see below it. That way you guys get the optimal. I've seen a few other videos, but they're either too close, too far away, or they don't show enough of what's going on. And while those have been a great guide, I wanted something more that everybody could look at and go, man, you know what? I think I can copy that. And I hope that throughout this series, my filmography, or whatever they call it, my filming abilities get better as I go, and I realize where the center of my piece is supposed to be versus where I think it is on the screen, because I'm used to building on my own on this tiny little desk. Let's see, get some more solder. There we go. I was just out of solder. Boom. Oops, a little bit up too far. And leave it there. Come on. Leave it. Leave it. There we go. Oh, a little bit of an extra bump. That's okay. I like to have a little bit of extra solder. It may not look the prettiest right away, but it is a good recourse that if I have to come back and split the wires, I don't need to worry too much about it. Now, let us see. One last double check. We got our main positive lead and our main negative lead. Okay, all LEDs are lit. Okay, now all we got to do is take our handy dandy broken God hands. Yes, my God hands are broken. I use my Citadel strictly now. My God hands have now become wire cutters, so if you're going to get mad at that, go ahead. I don't care. Me and God hand do not have a good, friendly relationship right now. Mine broke, and I used all of the instructions and guides out there to prevent that, but it didn't work. So, yeah. Me and God hand, not friendly. I like my Citadels. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Don't think that. I don't have any sponsorships. And there we go. Oh, that's a string from somewhere. And there we go. Once I put the skirting on, which I haven't built yet, it will work out just fine. But let's do one last final test here. So that's a negative lead right there. And this is a negative lead. To show you guys how this parallel line is working, I'm going to twist my positive and negative together. Come on, a little bit more twisting, less just sitting there. Okay, there we go. There is my positive, somewhat connected. Let's give it a little bit more. And sorry if you hear that clicking, clacking. That would be my doggy. He has relatively long nails, nothing dangerous. He just clicks everywhere he walks. His name is Romeo. He is 15 years old. And sorry about the beeping. My wife is making some food. Don't know what she's making. But, okay, here we go. So, as I show here, here are the feet. Here is the negative lead. And here is the positive lead. Boom. All the LEDs are lit. As of right now, that makes 3, 6, 8 LEDs. And then already, as I've stated, I have started working on the arms. I will do a whole nother video on this. I have issues with destroy mode on the arms. I'll give you a little bit of preview of what I've got so far. I've never been able to successfully properly destroy mode up an arm, but as you can see, it's there. You can see the LED inside. So when that time comes, I will show the video on how to do that. It's not particularly easy, and it requires cutting of a few parts and sort of just making sure parts never move again. All right, guys. Well, that is Don from this is Don from Gundam Model Builders, and I will see you guys later.